Today, in our entitled people, I will sit in the seat that I booked. I am on mobile, sorry about formatting. Also, this happened a while back, so I won't be able to quote anyone's exact words. A little background first. I suffer from anxiety and from an event indirectly related to my military service. Because of my anxiety, I have difficult time being in confined spaces, and because of this, I always book an aisle seat on planes and trains. I feel like I have slightly more control of my situation in an aisle seat, and this helps with my anxiety. I rarely have a problem if I am in an aisle seat. Because of this, I always fly on airlines that let you choose your seat location. I could fly cheaper on airlines that don't let you choose, but I would rather not risk having a full-blown anxiety attack on an airplane. So on this particular day, the first leg of my journey had a minor medical issue with another person, and this person was removed from the plane first by EMS. So I had limited time before my connecting flight. I arrived at the gate just before they started boarding, so I quickly went to use the restroom before boarding. I would rather not use the one on the plane if I can avoid it. By the time I returned, they had begun boarding and my group had been called already, so I just boarded with the next group. When I got to my seat, there was a man sitting in my seat. I said, "Excuse me, but you are in my seat." He replied that he preferred an aisle seat, but they were all taken, so he was just going to take mine, and I could have his window seat in the row behind this one. I said no, I had specifically chosen my aisle seat, and he needed to move. He refused and asked me what the big deal was, as most people prefer window seats. I said if that is the case, then he should take his window seat. He picked up a magazine and began to ignore me. A flight attendant came up from the back of the plane to see what the issue was because I was blocking people from finding their seats. I informed her that I was booked in the aisle seat and that I suffer from anxiety, but I am usually if I have an aisle seat, but this man wouldn't get out of my seat. She asked for both of our boarding passes. I gave her mine, but the man said he didn't know where his was, but this was definitely his seat. She looked at my boarding pass and told the man he needed to get out of the seat because it was definitely not his seat, because I had the boarding pass for that seat. He kept complaining and refusing until she said if he didn't move, she would have him removed from the plane. At that point, he finally got up, and I was able to take my seat. He then asked the man who had the aisle seat in his row if he would change seats. The man refused. The seat stealer was forced to sit in his window seat for the nearly 5-hour flight. The man and woman who were in the row with him were on the larger size, not huge, but definitely bigger than average, so I am sure he felt a little cramped in his window seat. The couple in my row were elderly and both much smaller than the average person. They were delightful seat companions. I enjoyed chatting with them briefly before they both dozed off. This next one is entitled Grandma Doesn't Like the Picture I Painted of Her Cat. The picture link in the description. Keep in mind, he paid nothing for this. It was a gift from me. I'm only 17. My grandma asked me to paint a picture of her dead cat. All she had was one reference, so I had to do my best with what I had, my average skills, my low-grade acrylics. That's fine. Didn't want to just paint the reference because the picture was taken at a bad angle. So I made the cat lay on his back, looking a little playful. Then she gets it on Christmas and comments on how lovely it is. All was good. But skip to today, when I came to visit her. My mom, brother, and I sat down with her for coffee. I looked around her living room and didn't see my picture. I thought that was weird, because she usually always puts picture up as soon as she gets them, but I did think more about it. 10 minutes pass and she says, anyway, the picture you made me is all wrong, so I did put it up. It is in between the papers there. And sure enough, it was. I asked what was so wrong, and she replied, well, he would never lay on his back like that. Why didn't you just paint the picture that I sent you? I didn't know how to read, so I just tried to laugh it off. She kept ranting about how my painting ways all wrong for another couple of minutes. When I left, there was nothing I wanted to do more than take the picture and ram my fist through it. If you can't be happy with what you have, then you don't deserve it. And no, I will not be making you anything anymore. Edit. First off, thanks for the silver, and thanks for all your kind comments. They do mean a lot to me. Right now she has the painting, but I will try to get it back. I will update if I manage. Edit. The painting has been sold. This next one is entitled, Apparently I'll Burn in Hell for My Tattoos. So today at Bible study, this new lady walked in who was probably in her early 30s with bleach, blonde hair, fake nails, and lots of makeup. Let's call her Amanda. And the start, everything was going great, but I could feel Amanda staring at me. I tried to ignore it, and as we talked, drank coffee, and started packing up, I forgot about it. But on the way out, Amanda pulled me aside to tell me that I was a sinner and had no place being in a Bible group. And she must have seen my confusion, because she started pointing at my tattoos, full sleeve, telling me that I was ruining God's perfect creation, and how I would burn in hell for it. I was really taken aback and found it a tad amusing how she didn't see the irony in what she said. But being the anxious little shit, I had ran scenarios like this 1,000,000 times in my head, and knew I had the perfect comeback. May I find that statement ironic when you obviously dye your hair, wear makeup, have fake nails, and probably shave? How is that not ruining God's perfect creation? You actively choose every day to change how God created you. Her. Well, those are permanent. Me, so is being a bitch. I then quickly left because I got emotional and did not want to give this woman the pleasure of seeing me cry. Not really sure if I'm going back to group next week. Tilder. I call a woman out on hypocrisy thanks to anxiety. Edit. I want to thank everyone for their kind words. It has been very helpful for me to read. As for Amanda, she has been kindly asked by my group leader to not attend the next meeting or any meeting after that. My Bible study group leader has also called me a few times to make sure I was doing okay. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash the bell, and whatever else our YouTube overlords require nowadays.